I'm Mark Knowlton, the CEO and founder of TechScreen. And as a technical recruiter, have you ever been on the phone with a candidate, good looking resume, but you just wanted to get that extra level of confidence that this person really knows what they're talking about, but you didn't know what questions to ask, or you didn't have the time, or both? Well, although we deployed the world's only technical interview platform that lets a recruiter actually create and conduct a technical interview with the candidate, you don't always have the time. So when we rolled out our TechScreen certified recruiter training program right in our product, we did one extra thing. We pulled out for each of the technical modules individual slides that can serve as a one slide knockout question. So before you submit that candidate and you want to have confidence, take advantage of the technical training content that doubles as a technical qualifier. Take a look at just one of the modules and the knockout slides that we offer.
Now let's take a look at the primary object-oriented concepts. Now we have abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, and encapsulation. Now here are some basic questions you could ask a candidate. Obviously we just went through the 4 object-oriented principles, but what's a destructor? Or a constructor. A great question is like, what's the difference between a class and an object? All right, so a class is, think of it as a generically defined template or blueprint that has some specificity, but it's not an actual entity, where an object is. An object is an actual physical implementation of something that really exists in the world. Now, this is a really good question you could ask an architect candidate just to explain and describe the services-oriented architecture approach. Now, don't look for them to give you a verbatim explanation for what you're seeing on the screen. This is just a guideline, but they've got to be able to talk about things like the enterprise service bus. Another terrific question to ask an architect candidate. So, hey, compare and contrast the services-oriented design approach with the microservices approach. This is a great question to ask an architect. Hey, so walk me through the pros and the cons of using the microservices design approach. And again, these questions are kind of like table stakes type questions. Like, how does a microservices architecture work? What's domain-driven design? What are the main features of microservices? What challenges exist when taking the microservices design approach? Now, this is probably my favorite question in this whole module. Hey, what's the difference between a library and a framework? And as you can see here from this diagram, with a library, the developer's in charge because your code is sitting on top of library 1 and library 2. And you can see here on the left, here are some of the leading libraries you're likely to see on your candidate's resume. But in contrast, with the framework's in charge. The framework is sitting on top of your code. It's going to make the determination when to hit your code. And you can see here on the right, these are some of the leading frameworks that you're likely to see in candidates' resumes.